What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, guys. And you guys are wondering what I am doing right home. Well, just got back from a trip on the pier and just happened to bake off one of my biggest fish this year. But hey, it is part of fishing, but also still decided to do something different for y'all this week. We're doing top 5 lures to use on this summer right now. Because right now, to me, I don't know about you, is it the best time of the year to be fishing or what?
Yeah, it's the best time of year to be fishing right now for sure.
So if you guys are going out for the first time or having trouble catching fish just about anywhere from the beach to the jetty to the pier to the boat to offshore to inshore, these top 5 lures will definitely help you guys catch. Now, we are getting into it. Before that, I want to announce 2 big things for the channel, guys. Do have a new sponsor, which are Waterlands. Decided to partner up with them because they are very light. And another thing is, I do have a producer. I am extremely busy, guys. Between being a dad, running charters, and having a full-time job, it's just become too difficult. So without further ado, Roo, tell them a little about yourself, man.
What's up, everybody? Well, right now I am currently not fishing because I broke my leg, but it is what it is. It is the best time of year to be fishing. The jacks, the big trout, redfish, red snapper in the bay, grouper in the bay, pretty much everything. And of course, I break my leg at the best time of year to go fishing. But he came to me with this idea and he was like, hey, let's go out with these 5 best summer baits or lures. And I was like, man, good idea. I said, let's go for it.
All right, guys, so we're gonna get right into it, guys. Like I said, if you guys want to check out this glass company, you can use SaltMerks as a code. I'll leave it in the description if you guys want to check them out. Get 50% off. And from now on, you guys will be seeing with this glass company and partner up. They're extremely light and great for fishing. That is why I went with them. I used them before one time, and after that I definitely fell in love with them. So without further ado, we're gonna get into the video. If you're new to the channel, help me out. Hit the subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and hit that thumbs up if you guys feel like this video helps you out. So enough talking, let's go. All right, guys, let's get into lure number 1, which is we're gonna do. There really is no top 5, but if you are gonna top a 5, I will start with number 5, which is a spoon. To me, one of the best universal things that you have to have in your tackle box. Whether you're going on the pier, whether you're going offshore, whether you're going on the jetties, whether you're going on the beach, whether you're going on the bridge, these spoons this time of year are key. Now, remember to match it with your gear. If you are using a small, light setup, don't put a 2 ounce like I do have, because that's gonna weigh out them and usually will break off. So if you're fishing 8 to 10 feet, go lighter. If you're fishing 20 to 30 feet, that's when you go with a 2 ounce. There are 2 ways which I like to use these, which is a fast retrieve, slow retrieve, or not throwing it out there, letting it hit the bottom and jigging it off the bottom. What can you catch this time of year with these lures? Bluefish, mackerels, jacks, reds, the list goes on. Bonitas, caught mahi-mahis offshore with this. I've caught amberjack with this. Just about everything that you can catch in the summertime. Had one of my best days fishing on the bridge with these. Caught about 30 to 40 blue runners, bluefish, and mackerels a day. So I'll leave that link in the description if you guys want to check that video out, and also leave that in the description. Anything you want to add to this spoon?
Yeah. All right, so this is one of the most universal baits you can get right here is a spoon. In Louisiana, a 1/4 ounce gold weedless spoon is king for redfish. And gold, any other color you can imagine, they even come in chartreuse and multicolored. Those are just really great baits. I've used them in Costa Rica, Cabo, Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, all over. A spoon is a great choice. One of the ways that we would used to fish them is we would find isolated grass clumps, and we would throw past the grass clump, hang it in the grass, and rip it out, and we would catch it in bass, redfish, and trout, just one after another using that technique. Another thing you want to do, make sure, is always put a swivel on your spoon. The spoon goes through the water and it twists like this, right? So what you don't want it to happen is to twist up all your line. That's how you're going to get these wind knots and these big entanglements. So make sure that you put a swivel on here. I don't like the clasp. I like this type of swivel right here, the one that looks like an 8. So that's all I got, buddy.
There you go, guys. So make sure you guys have this in the tackle box. These lures just cost about $4 to $6 per these spoons. So make sure you guys get them. They also have them in sizes where they come even smaller, which are $2 to $5 per one. So it's very cheap and easy to use, like I told you guys. So that is lure number 5. We're gonna get into the next one, guys. Let's go. All right, everybody, we're getting into the next lure. Go ahead.
There you go, a jerkbait. The good thing about a jerkbait is that you can work it in the strike zone a lot longer than you can other baits. Okay, most jerkbaits have a slow flow to it, so they come up really slow, but as you jerk them, they go down. But the idea of a jerkbait is to twitch the bait in the same area and not have it come toward you that much. But it's the flash, it's the sound that's going to get these fish fired up. And also a lot, especially down here in Florida, what I noticed, you got a lot of long, skinny bait fish. And they look a lot like this right here. So you match in the hatch, and it's just a great bait to have. Another side detail that a lot of people don't think about. In the wintertime, I was using a jerkbait like this, but I was using a 3-hook jerkbait. A lot of speckled trout and fish like that, they like to T-bone the bait. So they like to hit it where the hooks aren't, and they pop it out the water. With this 3-hook jerkbait, when they would bite the lure, the middle hook will be in their mouth, and these two would be on the sides. So that was telling me the 3-hook jerkbait was the ticket for that day. I had all 3 trebles buried in that face. And also, this bait is a bigger one. And you can catch everything on this bait, throwing it out there behind the boat, trolling. You can troll for redfish. I think I know somebody who catches what on there?
My favorite, guys, look at, just look at the marks right there. It's just still marked king mackerel. I've hooked on. That's the one I broke off with, guys. Had about 2 of these. This is my older one. Put a new one this morning and literally broke off. Long story short, try to get him in. He did get sharked. But these are my favorites. If you guys have seen some of my episodes, I've caught one of the best days I've had redfish. I've had mackerels hit it. I've had, like I said, king mackerels. My biggest yet to this day, if you guys have seen some of my videos, my biggest jack this year, just using this right here. So you guys want to definitely give this a try. Same way that I do with a spoon, fast retrieve or slow, especially when it does that. You hear that pop, that's what gets these fish fired up. So it does depend. Remember, match the hatch. If you are using a bigger jerkbait, make sure you have a bigger rod and reel. If you haven't used a small one, that's when you go with a smaller rod and smaller reel. But you can use this, like I said, on the pier, on the bridge, on the boat, offshore, on the beach. Just about anywhere. They do range in prices. Just depends how much you want to waste. But just give them a start, give them a try. Go to your local tackle shop, buy one of these, and start off. If you just want to get out there for the first time, these will definitely work for y'all. So we're gonna get into the next one, y'all. Let's go.
All right, next bait we're gonna go over is a topwater. My personal favorite way. If you look at my channel, pretty much my whole entire channel is topwater. That is what I like to do. That is what I'm very good at. So I like to tie a loop knot for one, and this one right here is a Zara Spook Junior. It's got 2 hooks on it, and it's a walking bait. The reason for this loop knot is because this bait will walk freely, right? So as you're walking it, it's going to twitch side to side, and there's a rattle in here that's going to drive these fish out of this grass or these potholes off these ledges to come up and eat this. One of the things that's really, really good about a topwater, it just shows you where the aggressive fish are. It's also a way to cover water and find fish. We use this and I catch speckled trout, redfish, jack crevalle. I would use a more bigger or stouter hook bait, more like this chug right here, to catch jacks. Make sure you change the stock hardware out, like the hooks and the split rings, to a bigger size if you're going to be fishing for jack crevalle.
Now, one thing I like to do to add, guys, let me just get the other one, is if you are going to be fishing this, and now, like I said, guys, I'm not perfect. This is basically my second year that I've gotten into poppers. I used to be a live bait, guys. If you guys seen my channel, that's all I ever used. Last 2 years, I've decided to go with a lot more artificial, a lot more popper, a lot of my jerk baits. But, like I said, if you're going for bigger fish, bigger popper, bigger top water. If you're going for smaller keeper fish, smaller top waters.
One more thing. All right, so most of your top waters, they're gonna have a white bottom. They say color doesn't matter. It does matter. I'm gonna tell you right now, I've thrown similar baits right next to one of my other friends, and he would be the one catching them, and I'm not. But my favorite colors are blue and white, straight bone. This also, when you're working these top water baits, you know, change up your cadence. If you walk it slow, twitch it a few times fast, and then let it stop. And a lot of times, as it stops, that's when you're gonna get blown up on. I love top water fishing. It is the funnest way to catch anything. I mean, what do you think about them AJs eating that top water that we put out, huh? God, even the Kobe hit it that day, man.
I don't know if you guys seen that episode that me and Roger came out there. We were throwing these top water. Now, like I said, bigger top water, bigger fish. We were throwing a big one out there, guys. That was one of the best days we've had offshore. So, like I said, you can use this on the pier, on the boat, on the jetties, especially on the beach, guys. Especially on the beach. If you guys never hooked up fish on this, once you do, you are gonna want to have this any tackle box. So that is number 3. Now we're gonna get into the number 4 lure. All right, let's go.
Okay.
All right, y'all. We're getting to the next one right here. Go ahead, Roger.
All right. So this is not something I use a ton of, but I've seen this right here next to a gotcha on the pier, and it flat out murdered us. It's a glass minnow, it's like a jig.
The reason why I like to use it, as you can see right here, this stripe right here makes it look like an LY, like you guys know, a pilchard, especially in the summertime. Like Roger said, a guy next to me at the pier, and I've been a big gotcha guy for a long time. If you guys seen some of my videos, that is something I focus on. But when the guy was next to me was catching about 20 macros, and I'm the one catching 8, that's when I decided to give it a try, guys. So what you can use it in, where, just about anywhere. There's 2 ways that you could use this. My favorite way is jigging it off the bottom. Why? Because it just makes it look like a dead fish trying to get out of the situation, especially with this line that goes through it. It's just a game changer. Extremely shiny, guys. That's what makes it amazing. I've caught myself my first mahi a few years back with it, and I stopped using it. My first mahi, mackerels, bluefish, just caught a red like a few weeks ago after work. I was just going to the jetty after work, no camera, decided to just give it a try, and boom, that was it. So that is why I decided to include on it. A lot of people are using these. Anything when you add to it?
Yeah, so when we was on the pier, like he said, I was using a gotcha, and Cody from Crooked Smile Fishing was using glass minnow, and he was destroying us pretty much. And there's just so much bait before you get to the leader line, right? When I was using the gotcha, the Spanish mackerel kept biting me off on the leader. They wouldn't bite a heavy leader. I had to use a light leader, and they just have way more hook right here for these fish to grab. I watched this thing on a pier just flat out outfish everybody else on what they were using. So this thing is hell of a bait.
If you guys are seeing the pier videos right now, there is a lot of mahis running through the pier. I don't know where you guys are at, but here in Pensacola area, Orange Beach, Navarre, Okaloosa right now, this has been money this year, especially with a weird way fishing has been, but it's been good. We've been getting mahis, and this is what everybody has been using, guys. So if you guys are going to the pier, the jetties, anywhere in the beach, the boat, offshore, it's just a great jig to have. Crystal minnow right here, guys. Amazing, and extremely cheap. Now remember, match the hatch. If you're fishing light rod, this is perfect. If you're fishing a bigger rod, there is bigger sizes. And like I said, you can get in your local bait shop, Walmart or Amazon. I'll leave the link down below to remember, guys, that all these things you guys want to give it a try. So we're getting to my favorite, hands down, if I have one lure to use, guys. I'm gonna show you these guys now. So enough talking. my favorite right here, which is called the Bucktail jig. Now, the reason why I like to use the pink. Now, some people use the green. I might personally use the pink just because of the luck I've had. Just did a trip not too long ago, and let me tell you guys, caught my biggest tarpon with this snook redfish. If you guys watched that redfish video a few months back, it was just one of the best days. That's really what made me a believer in these. Now, the reason why I added the long 5-inch paddle tail is because exactly this right here, guys. It gives it more of a look, more vibration. It stands out even more, especially when you're jigging it off the bottom, guys. I mean, to me, if I could have any of these, this is what I would just have, one fish, just because of the experience I've had. What have I caught? Like I said, redfish on it, mackerels on it, bluefish on it. My biggest redfish actually this year, snook on it, tarpon. Anything else you want to add to it? Oh, and grouper, guys, on the bridge. If you guys ever been to the Tampa area or mid-Florida, they do catch groupers, just this bait. But remember, match the hatch. If you are fishing heavier water, go with a heavier setup. This is a half ounce because I like to fish the jetties on it. But if you're going to fish 20 to 30 feet or on the pier where it just gets deeper, you want to go with a 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces. There you go, man. What do you want to add to it? Go ahead.
All right. So some of these baits like this, we used to use for cobia a lot, but we'd use, the 3-ounce ones. Like I said, we need to get to that deeper water column. It also depends on the water current. And we would catch amberjack, red snapper, cobia, pretty much everything like that. And this is another universal bait. They use this up in the Great Lakes. They use this out west. They use it all over. A hair jig, a bucktail jig. It goes by all these different names. I've used paddle tails on the back of it too, but I also like to use a lot of the curly tails, like a gulp or something like that. Something that's got where it wiggles like this, like a gulp swimming mullet would be great, or just a H&H curly tail. Those work really, really good, especially for cobia. Them cobia like a curly tail. And them flounder in the Northeast, this is what they use for flounder in the Northeast. Them big, huge flounder, they use a curly tail with a hair jig. You can catch bass and everything else on here. This is a really good bait. And I watched Arrington murdering on it. So,
guys, the reason why I showed you guys is I want to share as much knowledge as possible to you guys, especially to those that are either having trouble catching fish or going out there on the first time. Make sure you guys give it a try. I'll be leaving the link down below to all this stuff that we went out to. So if you guys have any more questions, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode. Like I said, I always want to share knowledge with you guys because fishing is not an easy thing, especially when you get into it more and more. That's when you want to know more. So I hope this episode helped you guys out. If it did, make sure you hit the thumbs up. If you guys have any questions, make sure to comment down below. Like I said, check out Rockwell's channel. I'll leave in the link down below, guys. Has been a very big help in my growth right now because I have so much going on, guys. So I appreciate you guys' support. And like I tell you guys, get out there, go fishing. And it one that I add to this, which I'll be going forward. If you guys have a dream, go out and chase it, guys. We are living a short life right now. I don't know what's going on in the world, but hey, stay safe out there. Have some fun. Get out there and go fish, whether it's the beach, the jetty, the bridge, or the boat. Give these lures a try. So enough out of here. We're going to get out of here. We're actually going to get some food and enjoy the day, y'all. So get out there and go fishing.
ding dong.